The room is relationships. The room is you and me and everyone in America.
What are you talking about?
The room is different cookie cutter from Hollywood.
Yeah, man, you never know. People are very strange these days.
What's going on?
Welcome to The Room Minute.
The podcast where we get obsessed with the cinematic classic The Room.
1 minute at a time.
You have no idea what kind of trouble you're in here, do you?
Why are you so hysterical?
We always wanted people actually talk about it.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Allison.
Oh, hi, Rob.
Oh, hi, listeners. We're here to talk about Minute 17, the slow prelude to more sex, part 2, in which Mark plays hard to get and then plays much less hard to get. I was going to say who wants to say what happens in this minute, but that's pretty much it. She pulls him out of the chair and then eventually gets him to stop fighting.
Oh, hi. I was just, sorry, I was by earlier. Hi. I was making a cake. I realized I don't even have any cake mix. Can I borrow some?
Well, since this apartment in the room doesn't seem to have a kitchen that we ever see, no.
Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this bit. This isn't even my minute, but, anyway, yeah, Mark and Lisa. I guess we can, you're still talking about that.
Yeah. Mark's still playing hard to get. He puts his wine down. And Lisa gets, in the movie, she's a bit pushy, I would say. In the script, she's crying, so it's more like a sad begging.
Yeah, she's guilting him.
Yeah. I need you, I love you, I don't want to get married.
And then she says my favorite line, which is, I need you to make love to me. It's not a want, it's a need.
I need you to make love to me.
Yeah, she needs it. Yeah, I guess to make her feel better. But she loves him, I guess. So she's in love with him, and she needs him to make love to her.
Is she in love? Or is she in, like...
No. You can't love anyone.
You can't love anyone.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
The psychiatrist tells us that. So.
Yeah, jumping ahead again.
Yeah.
But everything's gonna be fine, right?
Everything's gonna be fine.
Totally.
That's what Mark tells her, which makes no sense as a response.
It's just something that gets thrown in there every now and then in this. It's another line that's repeated pretty often, right? Just like,
oh yeah,
everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, your best friend's future wife just hit on you. Everything's going to be fine, I promise. She didn't even say anything wouldn't be.
He says, I don't think so.
Right.
Everything's gonna be fine. And he just starts making out with her.
But everything's going to be fine sounds more like a response to what she told her mother about, like, she's not sure about Johnny. It doesn't fit with what she's told him.
It does seem like someone skipped a line, or there's a line missing. A couple lines, maybe.
I haven't watched the whole thing through, but I'm pretty sure the ending of the movie is happy, so everything turns out fine.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's a happy ending, right?
It's classic love story, ends with the wedding. Yeah.
That's foreshadowing for just it's going to turn out okay. So they keep telling us, so.
Everything's going to be fine. That means happy wedding at the end, and male-female relations are reified. It's perfect.
It ends in a throuple.
Well, that'd be great.
What happens with Mark in that story, though?
A lot of issues. I mean, she wouldn't be bored in that, I would hope.
No. She'd realize that she's not bored because Johnny is what makes her life better.
Johnny and Mark together as a throuple. They're best friends already, so it's pretty an easy jump to make.
And then the occasional tryst with Denny.
Yeah,
Denny just hangs out eating apples.
Well, he just likes to watch.
He likes to watch and eat apples and make and bake things.
Yeah. Lisa gets up. She pulls Mark to his feet and she puts his hand on her head, which in my notes I said is activating the deep-seated hypnosis programming she's been putting into him for years, obviously. So we were talking about hypnosis last minute, and it works. Like, this is the signal. That's why she keeps touching his face. She can't remember where she programmed it.
So we've talked about why Lisa is doing this. She's bored. I think we can accept that. She's bored and she craves drama, so she's going to cheat on her boring husband. But why Mark sort of goes along with it at this point? Why do we think Mark is doing this? Is he just a horn dog, or does he have like some deep-seated sort of resentment of Johnny?
At this point, we wouldn't know. We met Mark in their phone conversation and then this. So
we know that he's busy. He's very busy.
Yeah, he was busy yesterday.
But he came over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't really know anything about Mark at this point.
No, we knew a little more in the script because we know that Johnny saved his life and it was because of Lisa, but we don't know the circumstances. But in the movie, we don't even get that much.
Well, that was cut, I guess. Okay.
He owes Lisa something, but we don't know what.
He owes Lisa something? Is that?
Yeah, she said you owe me one.
You owe me one anyway.
Oh yeah.
Phone conversation.
Owes her something.
That's usually how you thank someone for saving your life, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 you owe me, kid.
That's 2 you owe me, Junior.
Actually, it's interesting. I'm looking back at the line. She didn't claim the owing for him coming over. It was for him talking right now on the phone. So I don't think he owes her anything anymore. It was, I want to talk right now. You owe me one anyway.
He called her at some point and had to talk. And she was like, oh, I'm busy, but okay.
Yeah.
I owe you one.
Then he had to do the same. It's a pretty small, that's a small stakes, exchange.
I like that. But you owe little things. It's much easier to pay.
Yeah.
Like you owe me a phone conversation. Okay. I can do that.
Sure.
It's infatuation.
But that still doesn't tell us why Mark goes along with it. Has he been jealous for the past 5 to 7 years or however long it was he's been Johnny's best friend?
Johnny's my best friend.
Possibly.
He just has morals.
The way it could have been played, if the actors had been better directed, it could have been, if they played it really heightened and she was crying and like, it could have made more sense. Like, okay, if you're I don't want you to hurt yourself, or if you're in like I'll do whatever you want to just sort of get you through this. But that's not quite, it plays as more manipulative, and it's kind of clearly manipulative. So it seems odd for him to make that choice.
Yeah. And as scripted, she is crying. And so it's a little more of that, but
yeah, that could have made more sense a little bit,
but then somewhere between writing that script and directing the scene, Tommy changed his mind.
He just didn't feel like getting that high and getting that emotional level for this movie at this point.
Maybe he had her film like this perfect scene where she's crying and it's sad, and then it makes sense that Mark is with her. And he's like, no, now we might feel bad for Lisa, and I don't want that. She's the villain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't want her to be sympathetic. They don't want her to be a sympathetic character. They want her to be the fat, evil villain.
Well, and I just noticed this is minute 17, which means Tommy Wiseau also knows his film structure. Because minute 17 is generally where you get the moment that defines what the film is about.
So you nailed that part.
Yeah. It's all about how we portray Lisa. And so he made the more villainous take be the one he used. Because that's the point. Lisa's the bad guy. Johnny's the good guy. Mark is the tool
that she will use.
Mark is the hot tool.
He is hot. He still looks good.
God, it's better looking.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lisa looks so dated. She looks like she's sort of going for it just looks very early 2000s. Whereas Mark is like, okay, I can play anywhere. I don't know. He looks a little more contemporary to me somehow.
Yeah.
He rocks that beard.
Yeah, he still looks basically the same now.
Yeah, that's just his look. It's simpler for men in a lot of ways. Looks don't change quite as much.
Yeah, and his fashion choices don't get overrun as easily.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he does give in fairly quickly once he's on his feet, but that's kind of the classic way you do it in like a romantic comedy, if that's for that, is that once they're close and she kisses him, the fight's over.
Because a theater teacher once told me if you get that close to someone, you have to kiss them or kill them.
Yeah.
One or the other. The alternative would have been interesting. Minute 17 would have been kind of early for that.
Yeah. She kills Mark and then goes to find Johnny's next friend.
Yeah, that would have changed the whole plot of the movie.
That would have been an interesting movie. She would have been more villainous that way.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a serial killer.
And then she's got to hide the bodies all around the apartment and hope that Johnny doesn't.
Oh, this is already sounding like a better movie to me. It's a mystery that Johnny has to solve, but he's engaged the killer.
And that's why she gets him drunk, is so he doesn't have the energy to look around and find things in the apartment.
She gets him drunk, so he's impaired, but he has to do it. He has to figure it out, solve the mystery. Then she could start baking the bodies into pies. It could be a whole Sweeney Todd thing. We could get that element going. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think we should make it.
We should pitch it to Tommy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sequel, The Room 2. Even roomier.
The Room 2.
The return of Lisa.
Well, no, really The Room 2 would just be where we do find out that all along Johnny was a vampire and shooting himself didn't help.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we have to explain it. him coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Tommy Wiseau would have no issues just bringing that character back to life somehow.
Well, how did they bring the dad back in Roseanne? Because the dad was dead, right? So however they brought him back,
they just
we could take that.
ignored part of the finale from before. That
there you go. So we just ignore it.
She was writing the whole story anyway, so they're just like, no, he didn't die.
Just tell people what happened. They'll accept it. Everything's going to be fine.
Everything's going to be fine. Right. All they have to do is keep reminding us, Johnny didn't shoot himself. And we're like, oh yeah, he didn't.
He didn't.
Why would he do that?
I was just, I went to the emergency room and the doctor said everything's going to be fine. So, yeah, anyway, how's your sex life?
Yeah, he couldn't die because he just loves Lisa so much.
Yeah, his love brought him back. Yeah. So this minute is a little bit bare bones. I thought I'd bring up. We'll talk about a different movie in the next minute. Spoiler alert! But I was going to bring up. Have you seen Retro Puppet Master or heard of it?
Yes, because Greg Sestero's in it.
Greg Sestero did before this movie.
Yep.
I think there might be some hypnosis in that too. I remember it being.
It was, and while he was friends with Tommy Wiseau, and Tommy was a little jealous that he got a lead role in a movie.
Yeah, I can imagine. He was the lead doing a French accent.
Weirdly, while his accent comes across as weird, that's how he sort of talks, or used to talk, because his mother's French.
Oh, weird. I didn't know that.
And so he's going for a genuine French accent, but I think possibly it's so genuine we don't believe it, because it's a specific French accent.
Yeah, I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh, this actually surprisingly sounds pretty good, considering it's Greg Sestero.
Well, in the Puppet Master movies, go back and forth from scene to scene on being super entertaining and kind of boring.
Yeah, I had low expectations for sure, but I was like, oh, Greg Sestero is actually not doing bad in this.
I'm pretty sure I saw Retro Puppet Master when it first was released too, but then I watched it again.
Humble brag.
Here, getting into this. I used to rent all the Full Moon movies.
Awesome.
With my sisters.
So I respect that very, very much.
Now, notes from a midnight screening. Notes from a midnight screening. Once again, this is going to be a lot of negative stuff about Lisa, because what else you gonna do?
Because Lisa's a big fat.
When Mark says, I'm leaving now, you gotta scream, yeah, because good. And right in the middle of her begging,
I don't want to get married anymore. I don't love Johnny.
Usually it's not the whole audience, but someone will call her a bitch. And when she gets off Mark's lap, someone will say, oh, that feels better.
Oh my god. That's awful.
They're so mean to her. Lots of no as she's like getting close to him and gonna kiss him. We get another focus shot when she first pulls him close. And when they kiss 4 times at the end of the minute, we get a sound like she's eating him, going, oh.
God, that's terrible.
Essentially, the midnight screening version of Lisa is this really fat, villainous woman who eats people.
It's terrible.
Which might be a better movie.
It's not funny either. I don't know. It's making me laugh, I gotta admit.
Yeah. And, that's all I have for minute 17. Anyone have any other notes?
Nope.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Everything's gonna be fine. That's right. I promise.
The movie ends in a happy couple.
Murren.
Yes.
Where can the listeners hear more from you?
Well, since I talked about Point Break Minute last time, that is over. Next, I will be starting up The Cast and the Furious with Jonathan Howell of Minute Impossible. Nice. It's going to be a more limited release series. We're going to do the Fast and the Furious series, 1 quarter movie at a time, just as Vin Diesel would want it to be done. We got the Facebook group going, which is pretty fun. Cast and the Furious Auto Club. We have not released any audio yet. I think that we did like a teaser, and on the last minute of Point Break Minute, we do a crossover to the first minute of the Fast and the Furious.
Nice.
But we haven't officially released anything of our latest project, but we will be doing that soon.
So there's nothing wrong when people make fun of the project, in this case, The Room.
The Room Minute is a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find more content at lemmingdrops.com.
Follow The Room Minute on all the obvious social media. If you've got any stupid comments after the show,
you can leave them in your pocket on Facebook. If you like what you hear, throw us a rating and review on your podcatcher of choice. Thank you for listening, and remember, if a lot of people loved each other, the world would be a better place to live.
Leave us!